Today we're going to make some paratha. You can see the one on the right, which is on the plate, that's actually a frozen one. You can see the difference, right? The one on the left, it's defrosted. So I actually took it out last night and I put it on the pan, right? So ready to cook. And so that's completely defrosted. But the one on the right is just taken out of the freezer just now, just a moment ago. You can see how it's frozen. So to cook that one, you have to actually use more heat, because you have to, once you start cooking it, it has to be defrosted, and then only after that it starts cooking. So it's better to defrost it overnight before you start using it. So today we're going to make this paratha, and so we'll be using the defrosted one, right? Not the one straight out of the freezer, but the one that's defrosted. And we'll also add a bit of a spin to it, just to give it something different, because we don't want to just make something that's already available in the stores. We want to add a bit of a spin to it. So we're going to make a cheese paratha, cheese and chili paratha. So that's what we're going to make. And so you can get this paratha in any Indian grocery store. If you go to the frozen food section, it'll be in there. And usually it's available in packs of 10, 15, or even less, or it might be 25, whatever the number is. And they're called paratha, and they're in the frozen food section. So they're in the freezer, and you have to store it when you bring it home. You have to actually store it in your freezer as well. And you can use it, you can take it out of the freezer, you can defrost it and use it, or you can use it straight out of the freezer and you can put it on the pan and cook it, but it takes longer because it's frozen. So it's better to defrost it first. So let's get started, and let's make the cheese and chili paratha. I'm going to be using a gas cooktop for this cook, and let's have a look at the gas burners that are available on this cooktop. So you can see there's a small burner. There's two medium burners and a large burner. So the small one, you use it for small cooks. With any small pan or small frying pan, you can use it for small cooks, the small burner. And the medium ones you use for medium cooking, and the large one for large one. So let's put the flames on and have a look at these burners. So you can see that the large burner has more flames, and the smallest one has less flames. The medium ones have medium number of flames. So the more flames you have, the hotter the heat is going to be for the cook. So that's why for big cooks you use the big burner. So if you're doing like major cooking, then you go with the big burner. And for everyday type of cooking, you generally use the medium ones, the two medium ones, and the small ones you use for like small cooking, like in any, as I mentioned before, like a small pan. If you're doing like small amount of food, then the small one is the one to go with. So yeah, those are the burners that are available on this stove. So yeah, let's switch these off. So let's start cooking the paratha, and I'm going to be using a medium burner for this one, and I'm going to put it on medium heat. So I haven't started the heat yet, so I'll start the heat now. And I'm going to turn that to medium heat. So let's get the heating started. And as you can see, you'll see that the pan that I'm using has it doesn't look like it's been washed, right? The reason is, generally I don't wash this pan. I tend to do like frying stuff with it, and when I finish the frying, I just put it in the microwave and I keep it inside the microwave, and then I use it again the next day. So generally this one I do clean it from time to time, but most of the time I don't clean it. Because I don't really have to clean it, because it's mostly oil, and the oil can be reused again the next day. So that's something I do. It might be a bit controversial, but I have actually seen in a documentary or something on TV, they were showing they had like this 100-year-old oil, And what happens is they keep using the oil, and they keep like a little bit of the old oil, right? So when like they don't completely finish it. So when they get to about 10% of the oil in the oil jar, they keep about 10% and they top it up again with brand new oil. So you're topping it up with the old with some of the old oil. So if you trace it back to all the generations, the oil has been there for like 100 years, right? So that's something they do. So it's just something I do as well, like, and it's quite good. Like, let's say I cook something today using this pan, and I don't wash it. I put it in the microwave. Then when I use it again tomorrow, then I got the flavor from what I cooked on the previous day, adding to whatever I'm cooking today, right? So it's something like that. I mean, I do wash it from time to time. After a certain point, you do have to wash it, but generally I don't. Okay. So as you might be able to hear the sound. It's beginning to cook. So we can use a fork to kind of turn it to the other side and have a look. So you can see it's already beginning to starting to burn. So this is actually on medium heat. You don't want the heat to be too high, because then it's going to start burning, and you don't really want that, right? So let's get the paratha cooked first, and then we can add the other ingredients. And the chili flakes, actually, they're optional, so you don't really have to add the chili flakes. The cheese even is optional, but I just want to give it something bit more different than just using frozen paratha. I want to give it something different than that. So that's why those ingredients are added. But they are optional. You don't have to add them. So as you can see, it's beginning to cook. Both sides are beginning to cook. So they're beginning to brown. Obviously, they're beginning to cook. So as you can see, it is beginning to brown. So it needs to brown a bit more. When it's completely brown, then we can go to the next step. So let's get to that point first. Let's give it a turn and have a look. So you can see that there is something that I already cooked. I think it was a paratha or roti or something like that, right? That's why the marks are there. And that flavor is actually adding to this one as well. So that's why I don't generally wash this. Wash this. So let's give it another turn. So you can see now it's kind of cooked. It's kind of cooked. So it's kind of getting there. It's almost fully cooked. Once it's fully cooked, we can go to the next step. That's looking about right. Just do the other side. Actually, I think that should be enough. So I think that we have cooked that enough. So we can actually put the other ingredients in now. So we put the cheese in. Now we put the chili flakes in there. You can use any cheese, it doesn't really matter. Whatever cheese you like, you can use. And then you put the chili flakes in. As I said, the chili flakes are optional. And the cheese is optional as well. Then you just end up with a plain paratha. So those are the main ingredients, and we have put those ingredients in. It's a bit more chili. Now that we have put all the ingredients in, what we do is we turn off the cooker, right? So you might ask, why are we turning off the cooker? It's not completely cooked yet. Well, because we're going to use a technique that I use all the time called residual heat. And with residual heat, what it does is we cook for a little while using the cooker, right? You keep the heat on. And when we want to use the residual heat, what we do is we turn the cooker off. And then it cooks using the heat in the pan. Whatever heat is in the pan, it cooks using that heat, right? So what you do is you're saving energy, and you're utilizing that heat. You're not wasting it. So that's what we're doing. So now I have switched off the heat, and now we just leave it, because the paratha is fully cooked, right? The paratha is fully cooked. We don't need to cook it anymore. We just need to melt the cheese and heat up the chili flakes. And to do that, the residual heat in the pan is enough. Residual heat means whatever heat is there in the pan without the flame, because we switched off the flame. So now we just leave it and we let the residual heat do the work, and we'll check it in a little while later. Maybe you can leave it for about half an hour, 15 minutes to half an hour, and we can check then. So it's been about 5 minutes since we switched off the heat, and as you can see, the cheese and the chili flakes have cooked with the residual heat in the pan. So that's completely cooked now. The paratha was already cooked before, and now the cheese and the chili flakes have also been cooked using the residual heat. So yeah, that's basically the cook done. Yeah, I mean it's basically ready, and we used active heat, to cook the paratha. Active heat means the flame was on at that time, and we cooked the paratha, and we turned it off after we put the other ingredients, the cheese and the chili flakes, and those were cooked using the residual heat in the pan, and you can see that it is cooked. So now it's ready, and it's ready to be consumed. So yeah, that is so this is the chili and cheese paratha. Hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it, and see you in the next one.